Oh yeah, look at that. Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Matt. I am your host, Matt Taylor. Today I'm going to show you how to make coconut bread. Oh yeah, coconut bread is a sweet, quick bread like banana bread or zucchini bread, and it's made in about under an hour. So pretty awesome. A friend of mine brought me a loaf of coconut bread over the other day, and it was so amazing. I asked him for the recipe. This came from his mother. I'm not sure where she got it, but it's an amazing recipe, and I'm going to show you how to make it. Really easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. Before I move on, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of my new videos. Let's get baking. Down below in the description box, you'll find the list of the ingredients and their amounts. First, preheat the oven to 325 degrees or 162 Celsius. And now we will take a large bowl and we will put in our 4 large eggs. And I'm going to beat these a little bit with a hand mixer. Alright, we don't have to do it too much. And then we'll add our softened butter. This is 1 cup of butter. And if you forget to soften it, you can just put it in the microwave on like the defrost mode for a little bit. And if it melts a little bit, don't worry about it. Add in our 2 cups of sugar, 1 tablespoon of coconut flavoring, and then our 1 cup of coconut flakes. These are unsweetened coconut flakes, but you can use sweetened coconut flakes. And then 1 cup of buttermilk. Oh yeah, the buttermilk is going to help to make it a little more moist, and also the acid is going to react with the baking soda. And now let's mix these all together. All right, great. We'll just give it a good scrape. Another mix. Fantastic. I'm just going to set this aside for a bit. And now we take 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Add in 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And we will give it a good whisk. All right. We'll come back over to our main bowl here. And we're going to add in our flour mixture, and just about 1/3 of it at a time. And scrape the sides. Continue on with more of the flour. Give the sides a good scrape. Rest of that flour mixture. And we'll give the sides a scrape one last time. And at this point, I'll just remove the beaters and just finish the last little mix with my spatula here. Okay, and then I have 2 5x9 bread pans here, but you could use the medium size, like 4 of the medium ones, or 6 to 8 of the small bread pans. And then we're going to just divide this in half in between both of these. And I grease these pans with shortening. And then I just kind of put some in this one and come over to this one. So I'm trying to get just an equal amount in both of these. And you want it to be, just slightly over half full. Of course, it doesn't matter too much how full. You just don't want to go too full, because they will rise a bit when they bake. And then we'll just spread this out a little bit. Now we bake these in the oven, once again, 325 Fahrenheit, 162 Celsius, middle rack position. and we will bake them for about 40 minutes or till when you poke them with a toothpick comes out clean. On to that step. When you have about 10 minutes left on the bread while it's in the oven, we're gonna make our warm or hot glaze. And you can make whatever kind of glaze that you want, or just leave the glaze off altogether. But what I'm gonna show you is a hot glaze, and it's pretty cool. So we are gonna start with 1/3 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of coconut flavor, 1 1/2 cups of sugar, and then 3 tablespoons of butter. And we'll take this over to the stovetop and we'll just stir and heat it up, medium heat, until it comes to a boil. All right, here we are over at the stovetop. And like I mentioned, you can make a traditional glaze if you want with powdered sugar, butter, and milk. But this is something different. This type of glaze I haven't shown on my show yet. So that's why I'm going to do this one. Okay, once it gets like this, it's going to be all bubbly like this. We are done and we can take it off the heat. Just turn the heat off and we will remove it from the heat. And when they come out of the oven, they'll look something like this, nice and golden brown around the edges and lighter in the middle. And what you're going to do, this might seem a little weird, but we're going to take a wooden skewer and we're going to poke these all over the place. And you can use like a steak fork as well. All right, and now we are going to pour this glaze all over the top. And what will happen is the glaze will fall through those holes and kind of inject itself into the bread. That's why you want your glaze to be hot, because it'll be more liquidy and it'll help it to get into those holes. And you could totally skip this step and just make a traditional glaze if you want. Totally up to you. Now some of you might be thinking, wow, with all this sugar it's more of a cake than a bread. And you know what? You wouldn't be wrong. This is pretty much could be called a coconut cake as well if you wanted to. So call it whatever you want. It's your bread or your cake. And then we just let it sit for about 5 minutes. Also, I wanted to mention that since these were in the larger pans, this took about 55 minutes to bake completely. The really small pans, those are going to only take about 40 minutes. And once they've cooled for a bit, we want to take them out of the pan and then put them on a wire rack. Or if you're giving them as a gift, just leave them in their aluminum pans. You can do that as well. After you go around the edges with your cake spatula, we'll just take it out. And there we go. Now, one thing that you might see on the bottom here, if you can see there's a little bit that got stuck to the bottom. I didn't grease it well enough. One way to ensure that the bottom does not stick is to lay down some shortening and then do a rectangle piece of parchment paper and it'll solve that problem and it'll come right out. All right? Now we'll just let this cool completely before diving into it. Oh yeah. All right. Now it's finally time to cut into this. I'm gonna get a nice big piece here. Oh yeah, look at that. So yummy. All right, the coconut bread is done. Turned out fantastic. Really easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm Matt Taylor. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with Matt. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, put them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thumbs up, down in the corner, push it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Take care. Time for me to dive into this. Oh yeah. Mm.